Very good. Looks like it's 7 o'clock too. My little buzzer just. Oh, you all set? Yep. Okay. The Planning Commission meeting to be held on February 8th, 2022 at 6 p.m. is called to order. Would you please call the roll?
Alderperson Carl Kastner.
Present.
Brian Weiss is excused. Steve Rogers.
I'm present.
Don Carlson.
Present.
Dave Schulz is excused. Bob Krenz.
Present.
And Michael Braswell is excused. And Mayor Knightsky.
Present. Item 2 is the approval of the July 11th, 2021 meeting minutes. That's not right. January 11th, 2022 meeting minutes, right?
Yeah, I would think it would be.
22, yeah. Yeah, I'm still doing that too. Not a problem. I'd entertain a motion to approve the 2020
Second.
by Brother Don and seconded by Brother Steve. I'm an ordained minister now. I just,
Kind of feel left out.
yeah, well, $35 you too can be.
Also a chaplain, but just disregard.
I've only been one for a week, so I'm very excited.
Yeah, I was ordained in '82.
Yeah. I graduated from high school in '81.
I'm actually a pastor of a church. I've never said that publicly, but yes, so
Is there a reason that you haven't said it publicly?
not publicly here, I don't think.
Wasn't in another state, and then.
He does
Just-
a very
I'm just-
good job with his
I'm just-
congregation.
I'm just kidding. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 3 is discussion regarding the last common council meetings.
Dollar Tree was approved by the Common Council at a public hearing on the 18th.
Which is next to Festival Foods, right?
Yes.
Item 4 and 4B are the special use permit for La Villa Nutrition and a site plan review for La Villa Nutrition located at 4639 South 108th Street, submitted by Jessica Granados Lopez, hopefully I pronounced that well, doing business as La Villa Nutrition.
I was hoping you were here so I didn't have to say that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, It was that good? Yeah. I took 4 semesters of college Spanish. It took me 6 to get through it, but.
And Jessica's actually a firefighter for Farming, so.
Huh? What?
There's an emblem on her thing.
You're a firefighter too?
Here to the front, to the microphone.
I'd make a motion to approve the item as presented.
I'll second.
Motion by me, second by Commissioner Carlson. All in favor? All
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries. You're all done.
So tea and
Welcome to the
energy
community.
drinks or what?
Welcome. Thank you for the work that you do outside of the job, the business that you're starting, but thank you for bringing your business to Greenfield.
So it's close to my house. Tea and energy drinks is what you got?
My wife and I will come to see you.
Healthy shakes. All right.
Nutrition to the community that's not offered very, there's nothing really like it around.
No.
So that's my goal, to just bring nutrition and fitness, because I love fitness.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
My wife and I will come and see you very soon.
Perfect. I'd love to see all of you there.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Item 5A and 5B is a special use review for 102 CBD Vape Smoke. Proposed business to be located at 6229 South 27th Street, submitted by, is it Mayor? Vagadia. I probably didn't.
Mayor, I think.
Mayor Vagadia. I'd make a motion to approve the item as presented, except there's an issue with regard to the hours of operation, right?
The applicant is requesting to stay open, or to be open from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Pretty consistently, other tobacco stores in the city are 9 to 10, and so staff is recommending that the hours be limited to 9 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Make a motion. Did we make a motion?
I made a motion to approve.
With that
Leaving
time.
the hours open, so. Is the gentleman here this evening? Is that you? No? Okay. 9 to 10, consistent
Yeah.
with the other places. Second by Kastner?
Sure.
Was it? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Oh, geez.
6A and 6B, a special use review and site plan review for CBD vape smoke located at 6403 West Forest Home Avenue. Same gentleman, right?
Yeah, when this applicant came before the Plan Commission, I believe, 2021, 20-ish, it was around there. They requested to be open till 10 PM. There was a typo on our part with the resolution. We accidentally put 7,
9 to
but
10?
consistent, right? This time they're asking for 11:30. Again, staff's asking for a close at 10 PM. So we're just talking about hours here.
Are these places making money? There's no one ever in them. I know,
You wonder why, what's happening, yeah.
yeah.
There is a reluctance in the residential neighborhood that's immediately adjacent to this business to stay open past 10, right? There's a reason for.
Yeah, no, and it's our
Okay,
standard hours.
So I make a motion to approve the item as presented with the hours of operation amended to 9 AM to 10 PM, consistent with the other ones.
So what happens if someone stays open till 11?
Well, ironically, both these places were open later.
Right.
Andrew drove by, noticed the hours. He wrote them a letter, and then that's kind of where the conversation stemmed from. So he was requesting, I mean, that's something, I guess the police department, we could ask him to keep an eye on, but
So generally, when you have generally when you get a special use, you find out that they're doing it, you can pull you write nasty letters suggesting that their special use permit could be revoked because they're violating
that's
it,
true, yep.
right?
Yep,
That requires,
That requires some effort, obviously, right?
We're limiting the time that they're gonna be only open until 10 as opposed to
11:30. Well, originally, they were only supposed to be open until 7, it sounds like, because of the typo.
that was a typo error, yes.
So 10 PM. So that was the motion and second. Was there a second?
I do not have a second.
I will if that's
By
what it takes.
Alderperson Kastner. All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Opposed, motion carries.
Mayor and Carl, so that one, I'm gonna put an amended resolution on the council agenda for next week, clarifying that typo to be 10 PM.
That's
Just-
absolutely, that's
Just so you
fine.
understand why that
Reasonable.
resolution's on there, okay.
Completely reasonable. I think they would appreciate being able to be open 3 more hours.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Number 7 is a site plan amendment for Church and Chapel, proposed funeral pre-planning office located 4200 West Layton Avenue.
I'll make the motion to approve this.
I'll second that.
Motion to approve, seconded motion by,
Me,
I will
I'll-
second that.
okay.
Commissioner Steve.
Kastner, seconded by Rogers. All in favor?
aye.
All opposed, motion carries. The minutes should reflect, because the minutes go out with this, and every time they see this, they think that it's going to be a funeral home or something. This is not a funeral home. This is a planning center. There's no crematorium there. There's no services there. It's just offices and conference rooms and
Not necessary, but was that their original plan, or were they,
a
What year?
long time ago. The
first started talking about converting this land?
It was a crematorium at one point.
Right, that's when I first got on the council and they wanted to,
it was very contentious at the time too.
yeah, and I
So-
checked with the state and they said that a crematorium puts out less pollution than a car does. That was the people's main objection at the time.
Without being gross here, unless you don't preheat the ovens.
And then what a lot of people don't know, there's a crematorium right across the street from the high school.
It was political.
All right, so community development manager report. Is there anything?
ATC reached out to us today. I don't know if you heard that.
Who?
ATC,
Oh.
for the power lines.
Yeah.
So they definitely are talking about it. Yeah. So it was good news, and they're
Okay, the Loomis ATC moving power line thing?
yeah, the power lines cut through the park and ride right now, and to maximize development, Cobalt is asking ATC to explore moving those lines more parallel and closer to the freeway. So they are
Frees up
exploring
more
it.
developable land. Actually, it frees
Yes.
up more land that you can do more with. Because
Yeah,
you
you
can
can
still
put
park
parking lot,
underneath
yeah.
it, but that's,
And they're,
Does this slow down the development of the site
no.
as is?
We've been accelerating this process. Initially, they were going to,
this is the north end of the freeway.
yeah, they were sort of taking their time with it.
Yeah, we've been
So we've been
anxiously
trying to-
waiting.
Been trying to figure out what it would cost, get the engineering down.
Yeah, so they're doing a study. Cobalt is paying for ATC to do a study about the feasibility of moving these lines.
Is it well in excess of $100,000?
Yes.
Right,
Yep, it is.
to do the
What happened to
study,
the other item on,
Study, not,
not to move the lines.
yeah, yeah.
what happened to the other item that went to staff?
With the locksmith?
This is unrelated. This is the one that's over by the old TGI Fridays on 76th.
Oh. New owner, the new owner of the, I'll call it the Star Wars building for lack of, the one north
Painting
of,
We all
building.
know what that is?
y'all know what that is? Okay. There is a new owner of that, he already purchased it. He's going to do a facade improvement. The application originally was a little too minimal to address issues on the site, and so we asked him to go back to the drawing board, work with his architect, and I haven't heard from him since, but he was given direction on what we want to see as far as improvements on the site.
I met with,
He does own it, though.
He owns
He
it,
bought
yeah.
it.
He purchased it.
I met with him on site. He's very anxious to get going. He recognizes that the building is in really, really tough shape on all sorts of different levels. There's an issue with parking in the front, obviously. The way the site and the topography of the site is, it's very dangerous to park in front.
It's,
So he's
it's a
working-
steep incline. I didn't know. I drove up it. And I
Yeah,
was like,
so
"Whoa."
he's gonna be working with a civil engineer to try to
Okay.
get that changed and so it was much more than he could swing together in 3 days before this meeting.
Right.
You can't do cross easements and no one's wanting to play there.
I don't know if there's a room even.
With Midas.
I guess Midas and.
To the north,
Keep
there's a big grade-
Fridays
there's a
and
grade difference.
Best Buy.
There's plenty of parking behind the building.
Yeah, there is.
There is.
But
It's a big site.
He's wants to
He's in
do
a
everything
building
he
there.
can to get parking in front of the building.
Okay.
What kind of business is it?
Oh, so he would put a tobacco store, first floor, one half,
And
a cell phone repair shop, first floor, the other half, and then he has a real estate firm which would occupy the second floor.
There's a garage in back, too.
There is a big garage in the back, yes.
So he sounds like he has the resources to do it. It's a very challenged site.
It's important for our city.
We just continue to see an influx of smoking, retail.
Man, I've quit since August 8th, man.
Very
So,
good.
yeah.
Proud of our mayor for.
I'm
that.
proud of it. I just think of it's approaching $2,000 I've saved probably
And,
since then.
Wow.
It's kind of amazing. Of course, I haven't recognized it. I wish I'd been putting $10 away every day somewhere, but
Well, Starbucks is happy.
I don't even go there anymore.
Holy cow, that's another
I
$2
am
grand.
trying to be healthy and drink, pineapple banana drinks and stuff.
There you go.
do you have patio or indoor seating, do you have indoor seating for your?
Minimal.
healthy-
I will. It's very minimal, but there will be seating.
Outstanding.
So
Where do you meet with people now?
so the thing is that,
Well, he's not meeting with me anymore, so I think he just,
well, a lot of people, over the last 2 years where,
Yeah.
3 years ago, I would meet with people every day and,
Yeah.
and the way people do things is completely different than the way it used to be.
Oh, sure, yeah.
They'll rather FaceTime you or talk to you on the phone or text you as opposed to meeting in person oftentimes.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm hoping it changes because I kind of miss the old way. So the locksmith, everyone, it's my understanding that Cobalt has made an offer to the locksmith and that they're in negotiations.
okay,
I'm not sure where that's going.
okay,
That's between them.
that would be.
But it seems that that's important, right?
It is very important.
So
Well, that and the power lines together, that would be.
that and the power lines would be good.
Those, that is,
Although they have created a site plan, a preliminary site plan that doesn't move the power lines and took into account not buying the business, so. But it would clearly be better if those things did happen.
can you give us a rundown of the possible businesses that are going into that? We don't know that, can't do that yet.
Cobalt is gearing up for the south end, though. They submitted final plans to us yesterday. So getting ready to apply for like engineering's final review, and then once we give the sign off, they'll apply for permits.
I thought they were gonna start, breaking ground and work through the winter, but nothing happened. They raised everything, but,
Costs.
Plus other
Cost and
things.
chart, I mean, just the span crate, I guess, for the apartments on the south side, which will start in April or May, March, April, May. The span crate is like, it's 6, 8, 9 months out. They had to order it like a month ago to get it through in the summer sometime, which is unheard of. It never used to be like that.
yeah.
Oh, the rehab hospital on 103rd had its first patient last week Thursday, so they are open.
Is that the one in Greenfield or Milwaukee?
So
The one
this
in
is,
Greenfield.
this is something that, we've talked about zip codes. I'm working with Congressman Fitzgerald's office right now on that. So you remember when that hospital went, it was important that everyone recognized that it's in Greenfield, it says Milwaukee, right? Remember, kind of
Even has
important.
on the building?
So when they applied for all their licenses, they applied with a Greenfield municipality as the address, right? The difficulty was that, I think it's the DEA, was it the?
Yeah, because it's the drugs, the prescription.
Yeah, the prescription drugs, it wasn't recognized as a valid address at Greenfield, Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah.
So it took congressional involvement to change their address to Milwaukee so they could have drugs delivered.
Their request
They are in
for
Greenfield,
the
but-
pharmacy was denied by the federal government because it wasn't recognized as Greenfield, Wisconsin,
So we all went nuts about that.
because we have Milwaukee zip codes.
Exactly, yeah.
Then in Greendale,
it's a
in
pre-
Greendale, there's
predominant West
in
Dallas.
Greendale, there's
West
been an
Dallas.
issue with,
Wauwatosa has the same issue.
Yeah. Greendale has, they're
Green,
531.
Greendale's actually lucky because they have their own,
531, yeah.
and Hales Corners has their own post office.
Franklin does.
Actually, it's not in Hales Corners anymore.
Well, nobody's,
Zip
ch-
code is.
the
They go
z-
to the other branch.
which is bizarre, right?
Yeah.
Because the Great Life thing, which is in Greenfield, has a Hales Corners address, and we tried to change it to a Greenfield address. And they're claiming that the mail could never be delivered there, right? So they kept it as Hales Corners, right?
No, that one I think they're going to be cooperative on.
Think so?
I was concerned because I didn't want 120 seniors going to vote in Hales Corners because were told they have a Hales Corners zip code. And I mean, that would be massive confusion for them. Yet they live in Greenfield. They would all be sent away if they went to vote in Hales Corners. And so I do think the post office is going to cooperate with us on that one.
Well, as the mayor of Greenfield, I get awfully pissed off when the United States Postal Service doesn't recognize us as a municipality
Oh, yeah.
at all.
Yeah, I
As
know.
far as they're concerned, we don't even exist.
I know when I.
Hales
ordered
Corners
stuff,
exists,
I
Greendale
put
exists,
down
parts of West Dallas exist,
Greenfield,
Milwaukee.
And then it comes back to Milwaukee.
And the minutes should reflect again that the post office right next to this building used to say Greenfield, Wisconsin on the top. It was removed, and now on the door it says Greenfield Branch, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Well, at least they're.
Right there, right next to City Hall.
At least the postal trucks are gonna be made by a Wisconsin company out of Wisconsin.
In South Carolina or
Yeah.
something, right? Or in Carolina? Or,
I think South Carolina.
South Carolina,
yeah.
that's a big controversy.
But they're not electric either. They're gas powered.
Oh,
Yeah.
So now everybody's getting all
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
Just change they can't even change the municipality name. They can't even get that right, so I'm not. Okay, anything else? Haven't heard anything on Spring Mall. Everyone asks about that. I don't know what they're doing. What else was there?
Road projects?
Road, yeah, the 60th Street Bridge, that is a very critical bridge that's closed until next November.
yeah.
There's
Road
there's a
is here, too.
significant amount of griping going on, as you can probably imagine
I've got
about that.
A lot of people come from Milwaukee to our church, and it's right on 60th Street there.
I would ask people to be patient.
51st Street is a nightmare. It is such a bad road. is so bumpy.
Yeah, I
51st.
would tell them to use 68th probably.
Well, they're speeding down
Milwaukee, and they're going down 51st Street because it's closer than going to 68th Street and coming back.
Oh,
So,
but they're speeding down all of those streets because everyone gets to wherever they're going just in time. And then they realize that the bridge is closed, so then they speed down 68th,
I'm not a
51st.
big advocate for this, but what is the street that's directly north of 894?
Botsford? Cold Spring? Cold Spring?
Before Cold Spring.
Botsford?
Yeah, in between, so Botsford, I've already cut through that neighborhood a couple times, and I'm feeling
That's
bad
gonna
for-
get uglier.
I'm feeling bad for the people that live there, because that's gonna
plus
be,
there's a school.
I can assure you that there are a number of people that are quite upset that the traffic pattern is
Taking
changing.
down license plate numbers too.
so can we put a sign there, and keep you from doing that, or is that just a wasted effort, or?
So the Wisconsin DOT is responsible for the detour, for the traffic pattern changes, and every single traffic pattern change requires their approval. But we will certainly we'll certainly tell them, as people start getting used to things, right? In a couple of weeks when we see how things are, they'll probably readjust.
That's my assistant pastor. That's my assistant pastor, one of our chaplains, that does that for the.
Why don't you just tell them to do it then? Tell them to do it then.
Exactly what he does here.
We got more
You know somebody and you're asking me to do it? Gee,
Traffic patterns,
maybe I'll call him tonight and say, Steve said.
I've got,
No,
you probably already have his number.
I can't remember what else. So haven't heard anything else on Southridge or Greendale? That race kind of a big thing, right? Haven't heard anything.
Point blank.
They don't even have the
sh-
foundation
shooting
poured.
Did they change the name or not?
No, they haven't told us if they have.
They're starting work over there. They got the fence up and they're.
The fences
Yeah.
are up and they're starting to do the grading.
It's in
and
its
the utility-
infancy, yep. The 1,300-foot
Oh, it was
tower
a typo.
was not a 1,300-foot tower.
Yeah,
You saw that, right? In the paper, there was a 1,300-foot tower going in on 35th and Cold
Yeah.
Spring roughly in the right of way.
holy man.
It's like the Empire State Building tower size. It was 130. So, okay, anybody else? So 22 minutes, that's a short one. Entertain a motion to adjourn
Adjourn.
at 6:23 by Carlson, second by Rogers. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.